Mr. Halligan?
Yes, that's right. Hello, Miss Turner. Nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time.
No problem. We're closed anyway. The museum is being refurbished.
It's not easy to get in touch with you. I was close to giving up.
Oh, you mean because of the phone call? I'm really sorry. I do sometimes tend to be rather short on the phone. You know, I get unpleasant calls sometimes, and that's why I'm a bit suspicious.
I see. Well, I finally got in touch with you.
Would you like to come in? Would you like a cup of coffee or anything else?
No, thanks.
Mr. Halligan, how may I help you?
As I said, I'm working on the skeleton murders. We found another victim in Epping Forest. All the evidence points to the same culprit as in the other cases. The corpse was completely skeletonized. Professional work.
That's horrible. But how can I help you?
My colleague Chris Hecker of the Forensic Lab has already had a look at the bones. He thought that your father could perhaps carry out some additional tests. He is a renowned expert, after all.
Yes, he could do that. But as I said, my father isn't here.
I know, but it is very urgent. Perhaps you could have a look?
You say you've got some of the bones with you?
Yes, just one. Here.
This is a femur.
Yes, that's what Chris Hecker said as well.
It will take some time, Mr. Halligan. Could you wait a moment?
I would like to ask you some questions about your work, just out of interest. What's your father's current research project?
He's in Kenya studying initiation rituals.
What?
The rituals carried out when the childhoods of boys and girls end and they're admitted to the circle of adults.
What are all these strange things here in your lab?
They're things my father and I have brought back from various expeditions. They have to be catalogued, will then become part of the permanent exhibition of our museum. Some things are personal presents. We keep those, of course.
You see quite a lot of the world, don't you?
Yes, that's part of my job.
How long have you been working here?
Several years. My father helped me to get the job here at the museum.
Connections are indispensable nowadays, aren't they?
I was the most qualified applicant. But it's not easy to gain acceptance with the old boys of the museum's board when you're a woman. You have to be at least twice as good as the best male applicant.
And you were?
Of course I was. It's been decided that I'll be the head of the museum as soon as my father retires.
When will that be?
In 5 years?
Then you will have achieved a lot for someone your age.
How old do you think I am?
I'd say 29.
Exactly.
What's your research field?
I specialize in sacrificial rites.
Sacrificial rites? That's an unusual research field for a young woman.
Do you think so? I don't think you should divide preferred science fields for men or women, Mr. Halligan.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I just think that you must have to do with death all the time if you research sacrifices.
Death is part of our existence, Mr. Halligan. In all cultures, all around the world.
You're telling me. If you take it like that, we are almost like colleagues.
Maybe. But it's not my job to put people in jail. I document the sacrificial rites of different cultures in order to help create a better mutual understanding.
What is there to be understood about murder?
I'm not saying that I approve of everything I research, Mr. Halligan. But in foreign cultures, not all sacrificial rites are regarded as murder. Most cultures sacrifice animals or plants, and they do so for religious reasons. Human sacrifices don't exist anywhere in the world at present. They're a thing of the past.
That was very interesting. Thank you, Miss Turner.
Not at all. I like talking about it. I'm often alone here with my work. It feels good to be able to chat. But now I'll have a look at that bone you brought.
Good.
That came from Africa. Father brought it back with him. A small Greek statue. A small statue. A Mexican god. I got this mask in Central Africa. They wear them for rites that are supposed to cure diseases. Their witch doctors use them to drive away evil spirits. This is from Easter Island. Very mysterious. A death mask. In the Sudan, they put masks like these on warriors who died while hunting. This mask is worn for New Year's celebrations in New Guinea. I'd like to know how my father got hold of this silver mask from Kenya. Masks like this one are worn by tribal chieftains for initiation ceremonies. This Greek vase was given to us by a local resident. She thought the museum would be interested in it, but it's just a cheap imitation from a junk shop. It says "Made in Hong Kong" on the bottom. These sculptures don't belong here. I bought them from a junk dealer for just £20. I ought to take them home with me. I'll put them in the living room. These pieces fit together, but my father and I never managed to figure out where they came from. The head of a Greek statue. These sculptures don't belong here. Father's distiller. There's methanol in there. It's sometimes used to clean up relics. These are pieces of very old statues. It's not easy to put them together. A relief. It's just come back from the restorer. This statue's from North Africa. I think it represents the god of the earth. Can't see a thing. This dagger needs restoring. A curved dagger. I think Father brought it back with him from Turkey. That's a stiletto from the late Roman era. These stilettos were found during the excavations in Tenochtitlan, which is now Mexico City. These stilettos were found during the sheath of a dagger. Pieces of broken vessel, pieces of broken antique muzzle-loader pistols. It must have been practically impossible to aim these things properly. The sickles from England. It could be a Celtic artifact, but we haven't been able to date it yet. Forbidden archaeologies. My favourite. Excellent research. Very mysterious. A spear. I was given that by the chief of a tribe in Polynesia. The sun. It's amazing how many cultures make it one of their goddesses. This image is from Australia. The wash basin. 2 bottles of developer. 2 bottles of developer. The wash basin.
Okay, when you're doing this bit, you're gonna make sure that she sees the gold, and she'll actually tell you when she sees the gold, because otherwise you can't go through the rest of the game if she doesn't see the gold. So you put the bone under, and just this little knob here, until she says, "I see a gold in it," and then you can continue